Hello folks, your good pal, the Creepy Kentuckian here from DEADPIT Radio. Just wanted to send out a big thanks to everyone that called in this past week on the show. Really kind of blew my mind how many people actually called in. It's like a non-stop barrage for about an hour and 30 minutes straight, just talking to the fans of the genre, and that's what it's all about. I mean, this is a show that me and Uncle Bill started for the fans, by the fans, and if it wasn't for you guys, we would not be doing this show. Trust me. The genre is in not the best of states right now, to say the least. One thing that I wanted to mention, because I haven't really talked about it in the videos at all or anything, is because I can do this, and people knew that I'd done this years ago, and I recently started back doing it, and that is the hockey masks. And for folks that are interested, I have a couple here that I think this one, I don't think I've sold this one. This is a part 6 one that I did with the bullet hole in it. There's that one, and this is one that I did sell that I haven't mailed out yet. And part 3 and 4 seem to be my niche as far as masks go, and these will beat any price on the internet as far as the quality mask makers go. Just contact me, creepyhawks@gmail.com, or you can go to the blogspot page, creepyhawks.blogspot.com. Something else I wanted to show you guys real quick over here too that I've messed with. These aren't for sale. This is just kind of like an early prototype that I did, and it's I may make these for journals or something like that. I know that I can't actually copy Tom Sullivan's pages and shit, so I don't know what I'll do there. But these are Books of the Dead, the Necronomicons. This is the first one I ever did, and I thought it turned out pretty good. If you want to see, there's the front of it there. I don't know how well the lighting is in here, but the back of it there, and the inside, it's just a book cover. This is all this one is, and it's all slimy, shiny looking. But I thought it turned out pretty damn good. So that's something else that I've been doing. Where I find time to do all this shit, I don't know. But if anybody's interested in the masks or anything, just get in contact with me. They're less than a half of what a lot of mask makers charge. So, but the point of this video is I'm going to be ranking the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. I saw a guy, Ryan 1988, did this with a bunch of franchises, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun to do it, the Texas Chainsaw one. So here we go, bulls. Easily the best, and if anybody disagrees with this and says, "Oh no, it's not," there's something severely wrong with you. Because all of the other sequels, sorry, they were just, they really shouldn't have been made, in my opinion. So the best, I'm ranking from best to worst, by the way. The best is the original from Tobe Hooper from 1974. Bryanston Pictures released Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It's one of those movies that basically defines the horror genre. In my opinion, it's one of the top 2 or 3 horror films of all time. It's probably one of the most ripped off movies in the history of film, in my opinion. I mean, I couldn't tell you how many times I've seen a movie that's basically been a carbon copy of this film. Tobe Hooper, many think that this is his only good movie, although I think he did some other movies that were halfway decent. But Yeah, this is the 2-disc edition from Dark Sky. I actually had the Blu-ray as well, but I figured I would just show all of the DVDs this time and keep it kind of uniform. This is a great edition, by the way. I don't know what else I can really say, what much more I can say about this film, but it's all-time classic, bottom line. So it's the best, and from we're going down from here. One that I may get in a little trouble with. People probably won't agree with me, but fuck it. I've always liked this movie better. This is my second favorite. Leatherface, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Part 3. And this version right here is actually signed by Jeff Burr in the movie. Yeah, Viggo Mortensen, this is a weird movie to see him in, but I thought that this one really captured kind of what they were going for with the original more than the second one did, which is, I mean, a lot of people say, well, you know, whatever, they were trying something different in the second one. I kind of just enjoy this one a little bit more, and I know it was cut to shreds. The original version of the film was a lot gorier and all that. And the movie wasn't shot in Texas. I think it was shot in L.A. somewhere. But you know what? I don't know. I've just always kind of dug this one more. I thought that that R.A. Milhoff as Leatherface was better. I thought that I like seeing William Butler in movies. He's a good friend of the show. We've had him on the show before. Ken Foree was a strange little return there at the end for him, because I always remember that. I always remember, what the fuck, you know, he was clearly killed, but he came back in the end, which, that's fine. It's a horror movie. So yeah, Jeff Burr, though, is another guy that we had on the show. If you go back through the archives, or whatever's left of the archives right now, you can check that out. I don't know if his interview is still left on there, but that was second favorite, Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. The next one is Chainsaw 2, the one from '86. And a lot of folks will remember when this movie came out, I think it was New Line that also re-released, or no, it might have been Media Home Entertainment, re-released the first Chainsaw to a wider audience on video. So a lot of the people that had heard the legend of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and it didn't get, I think it was Media Home Entertainment. I actually had the poster right up over there. So I have kind of fond memories of this because I was like 6, 7 years old, and my dad at the time, you know, this was before we had cable or anything like that. So if we wanted to entertain ourselves and there wasn't a basketball game or football game or anything like that on that we were into, we would go down to the local video store. And whatever the big buzz was at the time, and I'm using buzz as like, you know, no pun intended there, but he would rent something like, you know, for instance, if they had a feature in the newspaper about Stanley Kubrick movies, he would go and rent 2 or 3 Stanley Kubrick films, and that would be what we would watch for the weekend, or whatever else. And lo and behold, I think he decided to rent, he's not a fan of horror films, by the way, he decided to rent Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And I just remember I don't know exactly what it was in the first movie that caused him to just vomit, but it did, and he got sick over it. So later that night, I actually watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 alone at the age of like 7 or 8 or whatever I was at the time. And, you know, I remember having fun with it, but if you look back at the movie now, it's got some memorable characters in it, but I think you get about halfway in the movie, not a whole lot of stuff going on in it. And it's just like reminds me a lot of what happened with House of a Thousand Corpses, which they get in this big underground cave area or whatever. Chaos ensues, but it's nothing that really, it doesn't really hit you. You don't really get anything from it, I guess is what I'm saying. Um, and there's a lot of things to like about the movie. I mean, Jim Seadow is great. You know, it's great to see him again. He's hilarious. Uh, um, Carolyn, what the hell's her name? I cannot remember her name now. Carolyn Williams. There you go. I've met her before too. Good in the movie, very good. Good looking too, still is. But I gotta say, not one of my favorite movies. I actually won this version from, let's see, I've got both versions. The first one with the awful photo of Dennis Hopper on the cover. What the hell were they thinking? I can understand putting a picture of Leatherface on the cover, but goddamn Dennis Hopper. You know, even fans of Dennis Hopper are not going to buy Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. I'm sorry. But this is the gruesome edition, which has a lot of extras and stuff like that. Still haven't opened it, but I watched this version a few times. So anyway, that's the third favorite. Now we start getting into the real shit. This one might surprise you guys. Me picking this, not at least next to last. I haven't seen this movie though. I think I saw it twice. And that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, and this was a prequel to the remake. As confusing as that is. Jordana Brewster's in this. Has a lot of the same people that are in, you know, the remake. I remember just liking the look of the movie and not really caring about much else in the movie. Like I said, I don't think I've only seen this 2 times, and I haven't seen it. I saw it in the theater and saw it for the first time when it first came out on DVD when we were reviewing it. Remember, it has some decent gore scenes in it, and Jonathan Liebesman is the director. The unrated version. I don't know. Maybe I should watch this again. I just really, I don't really have a whole lot to say about it. I think Arlie Ermey, I'm a fan of his stuff. You know, Full Metal Jacket and Saving Silverman. He was actually great in that movie, I thought. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't really care for his character or any of the stupid, you know, dozen family members that are wandering about in this movie. I gotta say though, it is quite an improvement over the remake. As bad as this is not a good movie in any means. Something I remember about it, thinking back a little bit, is it's set in the '60s, like the late '60s. I think a couple of guys getting ready to go off to Vietnam, and they're taking their honeys out for a weekend. And they, you know, that's the story. They get fucked up by the Hewitt family. And I remember like the hairstyles, the clothing, and all that stuff is not matching at all with the 1960s. I do remember that. Looked like all the teenagers looked like they'd be on the cover of fucking Abercrombie and Fitch catalogs. Shitty. Yes, I do have this one, motherfuckers. I remember seeing this thing, and we're talking about The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a.k.a. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. This was a movie that was shelved for 2 or 3 years before it ever came out. The original title was The Return of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This thing is bad, but it's so bad that you're like, holy shit, how in the fuck did anybody even make this? You know, you get entertained at its awfulness, I guess, because Matthew McConaughey is like, this, and this was before either of these, Renee Zellweger and Matthew McConaughey, become movie stars. They were just doing whatever. And both of them are from Texas. This was shot in Texas. Kim Hinkle, the producer and the writer, whatever, of the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, is the director of this, who I would love to get on a show, but you know, he just doesn't do interviews. I would mainly ask him about this, because you're just like, what the fuck? Leatherface in this is a complete, like, transvestite, wearing, like, stockings and dressing up like a woman, full blown. Matthew McConaughey in this has like a bionic leg. There's a guy that's, you think he's part of a like a mafia group or something, riding around a limousine. Towards the end, you see that he's kind of like an alien or something. I don't know, there's something bizarre happening there. Just so damn weird. So fucking weird, man. Like, just, I don't know. Very strange. Very strange movie. A movie that must be seen to be believed. The movie was only released because of these two became stars. It was the only reason it was released. I think the studio that originally had it was like, oh, fuck this. Let's get away from this. So, horrible movie, but one that needs to be seen. Last one up, and you guys know what it is. You guys surely know what it is. The worst remake, in my opinion, that there's ever been. And I remember seeing this in theaters and being pissed off. I've tried to watch it 2 other times since then. And each time, I am pissed off and I'm confused as to why people put this movie over. Awful, awful piece of shit Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. I cannot put into words how hideously shitty this is. You talk about 14 fucking family members all running about. Little babies and little kids with buck teeth running around. You've got Leatherface, which the fucking mask, like their choice for the mask for Leatherface, completely phony looking, man. I mean, look at actually how Robert Burns in the original did the mask for Leatherface. That actually halfway looks believable. This piece of shit right here doesn't. It's an awful mask. It's an awful movie. It is. I will forever hate this piece of shit. I only have it. I should burn it actually right now on camera, but I don't want to set the house on fire. The cast is awful. The direction is horrible. You got the guy. What was the guy? Marcus Nispel. Fuck him. Seriously. Like, they had a great opportunity here to reinvent a franchise and to really, really, make something great. And just like all the others, they fucking failed. They failed miserably. The only Texas Chainsaw Massacre, in my opinion, and I know that a lot of people hate on me for this, but this should have been it. And I like some of the other movies, but this is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, okay? You don't understand how much it pisses me off when you talking to somebody about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and they're thinking you're talking about this goddamn piece of shit. No. I'm not talking about this fucking overrated piece of trash. This is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, folks. And that has been my little ranking from best right here to worst. No doubt, right here. So, until next time, I'm the Creepy Kentuckian. Check out Creepy Hawk's website. Check out the show this week. Check it all out. Buy some stuff. DEADPIT.com.